All right, FightHype.com here with the Mexican Monster, as Mike Tyson calls him, the undefeated boogeyman. A lot of people feel like it at 168 pounds. My man, the former youngest super middleweight champion of all time, my man David Benavidez. David, what's going on, man? What'd you think of Caleb Plant's fight with Dirrell over the weekend?
It was good, man. I feel like it was a very close fight. It was a good fight from the beginning. But like I said, it's boxing, and anything could happen with one shot. And I think the shot that he caught him with was just a clean shot. You can't take clean shots like that, especially hooks. But it was a good fight. I give it to both the guys. I feel like his fight builds it up more to make mine and Kayla's fight, that much more exciting. I have Uzcategui in January. I don't know what day in January, but after that. I think that's the fight that's gonna happen in May. But first things first, we gotta go in there and take care of business and take care of Uzcategui and then get to the fight in May.
What did you think? If you're being fair, how would you compare your performance versus Dirrell versus his, and what we as fans could learn from it? And then same thing heading into the Uzcategui fight. Do you?
I
Do you
think
yeah.
I think the fight with me and Dirrell, like with me and Dirrell, you could see it was more apparent after like the end of the fourth round. At the fifth round, I just start to take over, and there's really nothing much they could do. With him and with Caleb and Dirrell, is more of a boxing fight. I think there is more like a chess match. You could see Caleb send some stuff up, and you could see Anthony Dirrell trying to time the stuff that he was setting up. But it was a great performance by both men. I feel like it was a really good fight. But I feel like with me, after the fifth round, when somebody fights me, it starts to take a toll out of them. You can see in their body language, and the way they're responding is different. It's not just, you going in there and getting outboxed and then getting caught with one shot. It's just me putting it on you, putting the pressure on you from whatever I round to start, get my engine going to the end of the fight. So I feel like that's really good, what's going to make the difference. As you could see with Canelo, when he put the pressure on Caleb, Caleb was countering him, putting good shots on him, but I think the pressure just ultimately made Caleb fold.
So yeah, that's where if that fight happens, you and Caleb, that's where you see the fight really you taking over the fight is in the second half of the fight.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of different things, especially now I'm working on a lot of different stuff. I know I got the speed and I got the power, so it's just cleaning up everything else. But it's going to be a great fight. I feel like that fight's going to bring the best out of me. So I'm just looking forward to it for whenever it happens.
I know, like when you got Anthony Dirrell, I believe you finished him off on the ropes. So we know you're killer when you get a guy on the ropes. But what are you gonna do to deal with Caleb in the center of the ring, where he's got his movement and his skills and his defense and speed?
Well, I don't want to say too much either,
Right.
but man, we got our plans in play, and it's gonna be a 12 round fight. I feel like with me, it has to be you have to like how I like to prepare for things is like how Maidana used to fight. It's gonna be a fucking 100% fight every round. And I feel like that's ultimately what wins fights. But then we got to work on a lot of different combinations, different stuff. But I feel like my engine and my stamina and my power are ultimately going to take over the fight.
And I know you don't want to, like you said, give away too much, but in the center of the ring, where he's gonna want to keep the fight. I imagine he's gonna want to stay off the ropes. Do you feel like you could surprise people with your jab and your boxing skills on the outside in the center of the ring? Like you don't necessarily have to just get them to the ropes to score and to get
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's the thing about me too, that I could box, but it's just I haven't got a fighter who's made me want to box or have to box. But I could definitely box. I mean, the way I learned my style is, jab from the outside and don't let them come on the inside. And then when they come inside, rip the body shot. So, I mean, I could keep them on the outside. And to be honest, I have one of the best jabs in super middleweight, if not in all boxing, and I could use it as a rangefinder, as a power punch, and it's just to set other punches up. So my bread and butter is my jab. So I feel like as long as I keep working on the jab and, do a, work on the cutting the distance and cutting the ring, I'll be all right. I've been through this long over and over again. So it's not the power of Caleb that I need to worry about because he doesn't have, despite this knockout, he doesn't really have power. It's just that he has really good boxing ability. So I'm gonna have to. That's where the problem's gonna be. Me trying to catch him and cutting the ring off and keeping him in one spot.
Well, you mentioned the power, or you feel like the lack thereof. But when you see him get a knockout like against Dirrell, does it at least say you got to respect what's coming back? You may
Oh,
not hear it,
definitely.
you're
I
right.
feel like as a professional boxer, you got to respect everybody's power because they're 10-ounce gloves at the end of the day. And like I said, one good shot like that could turn everything off. And the thing about that left hook is it was just thrown perfectly. It was a good left hook. I'm not gonna lie. It was give credit where credit's due. And then if you take a good left hook on the chin like that, you got everybody has to be worried. You can't take shots like that. But there definitely is some power. Caleb Plant's not like the person like, oh, I'm just gonna walk through his power and get hit or whatever, because that's not the smart thing to do. But yeah, we got it. We got a couple things lined up from.
What do you think of the fact, David, that before the fight, in the build up to the fight, he's saying he'll do anything to get to a Canelo Alvarez rematch, including fight you, get through you, and get there. And that's kind of how it's lined up because he wants to get back at Canelo, but what sits between him and the WBC title is you, the WBC interim world champion. And he didn't mention your name after the fight. It's like he wants to get straight to Canelo again, and he wasn't interested in mentioning your name. What did you think of that, David?
I feel like if he wants to get to Canelo, the only way to get to Canelo is to get through me. You know what I mean? We both want to get to that thing. It's just it's kind of weird what's going on because he didn't mention my name at all. And then when I was watching the fight, I seen on the bottom left-hand corner, it said WBC title eliminator. So, I mean, I don't know what that means. I mean, I have the interim title and I fought 2 other title eliminators. So if anybody's going to get a fucking title, the WBC shot at the WBC title is me. So I don't know if that title eliminator meant that he was in a fight that we're possibly going to give a fight next or whatever. But I just hope that they don't try to screw me over and put Caleb in front. And imagine he gets a rematch before I get the fight with Canelo. That'd fucking
Yeah, is any part of you worried about that happening, or
yeah, a little bit. That's why I mentioned it. So I mean, I hope that don't happen. But I mean, I feel like if we both want to get to Canelo, we both got to go through each other, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We just got to get this fight over with.
You got the fight in January, but do you feel like that shouldn't conflict with any scheduling with you and Caleb? That fight could happen right after Uzcategui.
Yeah, I feel like that fight's gonna happen. Because I don't plan on losing. But like I said, I don't know. I was hoping to get this fight with Caleb Plant, and then the other things happen. So we're gonna get Uzcategui, but my mind is on Uzcategui 100%. That's the way I like to go about my business, taking care of the fight in front of me, and then we could talk. But I mean, I feel strong, I feel motivated, I feel hungry right now. I don't think Uzcategui is going to do anything to derail me or take me off the track of fighting Caleb Plant. And especially now that I know I got 90% that the fight with Caleb Plant is going to happen after this fight, I'm even more motivated than ever.
Is that something you've kind of heard behind the scenes, that you've gotten some confirmation that Plant could very well be next?
Yeah, I did. So that's why I'm excited too. That's what I'm saying. I'm really motivated right now. So like first things first, I gotta kick this training camp's ass and push it to the limit and look great, and then go get a fight with Caleb Plant.
Because I remember when we talked at the Box Fan Expo before Canelo Triple G3, you sounded more like you'd have to wait 3 fights to get Plant. First, Uzcategui. You were talking about David Morrell, who since you said it has kind of gotten cold feet, and then Plant. But now you're saying there's a good chance Plant's the second fight, not the third fight.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where I feel like it makes more sense for everybody too. I mean, everybody wants to fight. I think David Morrell can wait. I think the fight with me and Caleb has been simmering for a long, long time, and I think it's just time to make this happen. I feel like it's the best time to make it happen too. I think we're both really motivated. I'm extremely motivated. Caleb said he wants to get that rematch with Canelo. He just had a knockout with Anthony Dirrell, so I'm sure he's really motivated. So I don't think I just got to go in there and win this fight. Look really good, and like I always do, and then move on to the next fight, and hopefully that next fight will be Caleb Plant.
Do you feel like, and forgive me for sticking on Plant. I definitely want to talk about this category. It's just that us fans, we've been waiting for this Plant fight for 3 or 4 years. So just
yeah.
Now I forgot. You got to forgive me. We'll cut this for a second. But with Plant, we just saw Mayer and Baumgartner. Like they said, the boxing world loved that rivalry, that back and forth. It wasn't just that they got in the ring and gave us a great fight. They gave us a great build-up, a great everything. Do you feel like that's going to be the case with Caleb? And are you ready to hold your own verbally, David? We know you can fight, but I don't know if we've seen you have to hold your own in a verbal trash-talking battle. And what do you think about all that?
I mean, Trash talking is what I love to do. You know, I'm a good shit talker. You know, it's just that I do a little bit more smooth where I don't come out like I'm always talking shit. I'm that arrogant, but no, I could definitely hold my own. But I think that's what makes it. That's what makes the fights a little bit more entertaining because they're more personal. I
Yep.
feel like both fans from each side, you know, they feel the heat and they actually adopt the heat too. And that's what I love about boxing. That you'll see my fans fighting with Caleb's fans, and it's like a whole fucking. It's like a big fight versus this side versus this side. So I think that's what makes it 100% more personal and a better fight and a better build up. And yeah, I'm ready for whatever comes with this, man. I'm just super excited.
With Uzcategui though, how's sparring going? I do see a little marking on the left side of your face there. How
Yeah,
yeah,
we've
how's
been having we've been having some good sparring, bro. We've been sparring for a while. You know, I've been working with Diego Pacheco. He's getting better and better every day. So we have some great sparring sessions. And that's yeah, bro. I feel like that's we're both just getting better. You know, he's getting hungrier. He's getting older. He's rising through the ranks, and it's the perfect time to have a great sparring partner where I could spar every day like that. You know, because sometimes a good sparring is hard to come by. And this guy, he's just hungry. And, you know, he's a tall fighter. He has a good right hand. He's kind of a little bit similar to Uzcategui. So he's gonna be a good fit for my sparring, being my sparring partner. He has a fight too. Diego has a fight in December 13, I think. He's gonna be in Phoenix, Arizona, in the Estrada and Chocolatito
Chocolatito?
card. So
Hmm.
it's gonna be a good fight. So you know, we're both working on that. It's good, man. We're having fun. You know, we're training hard, and like I'm saying, I'm really excited for the next couple months.
So he can hold up to it and take it. Because is it ever hard to find these days sparring partners around your size that can take it consistently?
Yeah, that's definitely the hardest part. The hardest part is finding a fighter that could actually hold his own, you know, and make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. You know what I mean? He's a really good fighter, and he, you know, makes me feel uncomfortable sometimes. And sometimes when you get other sparring partners, they're not at that level, and then you kind of have to pull it down a little bit because you don't want to fuck up the whole sparring, you know, in the first week, you know, and then they want to leave after the first week. So this guy, Diego Pacheco, is actually he's pushing me a lot. You know, we're working really good. You know, he's learning a lot from me. You know, and we're just having great sparring session. We're having fun doing it. That's the best part too.
I've seen how ugly it gets. The violence when I would see you spar up in Big Bear, it was these guys got to take punishment. I was talking with someone in boxing, been around the sport a really long time, and he told me he thinks part of why these guys are a little hesitant to fight you is they think you're crazy. They
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean by that. You know, like you like it, this shit. You like the blood and all that. Do you think there's some truth to that?
Well, I mean, that's the thing about being a fighter, man. I feel like when you're being a fighter, you could be whoever you want to be, like outside the ring. But when it's time to get to work, it's time to get to work. That's why I always, every time I see somebody like that's trying to act hard, he's trying to act like a killer. Like it's my job to expose him because that's not your persona in the ring. You know, and me, I like to be a nice, fun guy, but when I'm in the ring, I'm a killer, and it's always been like that. You know, I love I love fighting. You know, I love fighting. I like getting hit once or twice, and then you have to come back and land a fucking 3 punch combo, and then just back and forth. You know, there's not that much people love, you know, getting hit and actually feeling it. You know what I mean? And I'm one of those people. I love boxing. I love everything that comes with it. You know, and I love getting hit. I love hitting people. I just love everything about it. You know, and this is my passion.
Because I think all fighters love hitting the other guy, but I don't know. I don't know if too many really love getting hit.
It's good because the thing about it is, you know, you always hear it's not about how hard you get hit. It's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you get hit and keep coming forward. I feel like once you really get hit really hard, you really figure out what type of person you are. There's a lot of people that get hit hard and they're just gonna fold. They're not gonna keep going through it. And there's some people that just no matter what you hit them with, they don't give a fuck. They're gonna keep coming forward until you know they make you pay for hitting them. You know, so and I just feel like that's the type of person I am. And you know, I just like I said, man, I love boxing. I love everything that comes with this. I love the training. You know, there's some things that outside of boxing that fuck me up, like you know, eating. I like to eat, you know, but other than that, I love training. I love running. I love sparring. I love all that stuff. So, you know, this is just what I love to do.